it's funny when you hear about these things. When you do it, you never get that. You never get that price or that money. Oh, post-harvest loss, and I think that you would probably not hear in pineapple. Like, we definitely make sure, and then even after we've harvested, we are still selling suckers. You know, selling suckers alone can be a business. Pineapples are safer. Farming is not easy. Farming is not glamorous. Farming is not cheap. Farming is not a side hustle. Even if it's on the side, you need to dedicate about 50% to this and 50% to whatever else that you're doing. Like, farming is not a joke. You know, it takes a lot of time, and people are not truthful, so you can't really rely on people doing what you are hoping they will do, even after you pay them to do it. You know, the bigger ones are around like 8 cedis. The smaller ones might probably come around 3 cedis, right? So let's say averagely, you're probably going to get about 5 cedis per. So if you have 20,000, like I said,
Hello guys, welcome back to StartupGh. My name is Kekeli Michael. Today we are all the way inside Abri to learn more about a particular crop that for the big boys. There are levels in the game. You see, when you don't have cash, you go for those crops that can give you quick cash. But when it comes to money, this is the cash crop, pineapple. If this is your first time on the channel, don't forget to hit on the like button and tell a friend about StartupGh. We are here to discover more about pineapple farming.
I am Nii Ofoli George, and I am a pineapple farmer amongst other things. We are currently on my farm.
Okay.
It's called Twin Rivers Farm, and I started back in like 2017-18. That's when I first came into the area, and I started with vegetables. I'm currently doing mostly pineapples. Every year we try to do an acre.
Which vegetable did you start with?
Started with lettuce, because I remember at the time, lettuce was like the thing where, you know, they were selling by the beds, and it was, you know, a bed it was a good amount of money per bed, you know. So, but it's funny when you hear about these things. When you do it, you never get that. You never get that price or that money, you know. So we started actually down there. The land goes all the way to a river down there. So I started using that river and irrigating up here. So I think it was about an acre size. But yeah, it's quickly. And then of course, I can't forget, the people here are not vegetable farmers.
Okay.
They are pineapple farmers. Okay. So that probably was also the reason why I didn't really have any success.
How many acres did you do?
I did only an acre. I started with an acre.
Okay.
I started with an acre because at the time I had bought the land. I was paying for the land, but there was somebody else on the land. Okay. So that portion was what was available for me to actually use. Okay. So it was only about an acre until the person vacated the area.
So at what point did you decide that no, I need to switch?
So after I did lettuce, and I did those fancy ones too, like the colored ones, reddish and all those nice colors. Then I did bell peppers. I had different colors bell peppers. Came out really nice, but once again there was no proper market for it. And then I also did 2 acres of tomatoes.
Okay.
And I remember I actually hired a guy who also consults for Ministry of Food and Agriculture from the north.
Okay.
He came and he took over the whole thing, and I had 2 workers then, so he was heading those 2 workers. And 2 acres of tomatoes after we planted. It was planted, irrigated, everything was fine. And then I go away for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I come back, everything was gone.
Wow.
Yes. So at that point, I figured, you know, no, it's not working. Let me just try the pineapple that is being done in their area and see how it fares. Because I mean, you can plant something like 2 acres of tomatoes and everything is gone within 2 weeks because you were not around. And when I came back, of course, there was excuses. Oh, the boys didn't want to work. This one didn't want to do this. This didn't do it. And at that point, so everything is done. It's gone. So, you know, cut your losses and move on. So I moved on to pineapple. And I started right here where we are standing with an acre. That's where I started. Before now, I've expanded to other parts of the land.
Which year was that?
This is around 2019-ish, 2020-ish, around the time.
Okay.
And that's 1 year I decided to just go full time on pineapples. Yes.
Okay. And currently you are cultivating how many acres?
Currently, I'll probably say I'm around maybe 10 fully cultivated, but I'm actually using the whole land. The thing is, you know, when you harvest, you have to let the land breathe for a bit. Try and harvest some suckers off it, let it breathe, and then repeat the cycle. You know, so I have land like the next one that we've harvested before, let it breathe for a while. So we are planting now. We actually just harvested. We put the suckers on there. So I'm not growing 20 acres at a time, but more like a cycle, different cycles. The aim was to have about 2 acres per month, right? So 2 acres per month, 2 acres a month. The reason is because I wanted to be harvesting that much. Because what happens is, even with financially, if we're talking about 20,000-ish per acre and you're planting 20 acres at a time, it's not going to be easy, you know. So you might as well, you know, do it slowly. You know, your might, whatever you can. If you can do half an acre per month, do half an acre, half an acre, half an acre. So it also helps you actually harvest like every month or every other month, however you plan to do it, and you always have some income coming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you have a crop that is cultivated by, you see a particular type of professionals doing it, like bankers, lawyers, and are you guys seeing something in pineapple that we don't know?
Like I said, I think my number one thing is the fact that, unlike the vegetables where you can lose everything, you would definitely make profit. Be it 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever percentage, you definitely make profit off pineapple if you do it right.
Okay. It's not about the numbers.
It is about the numbers, definitely. The more you do, of course, the bigger the profit, the bigger the margins, the more you do it. But even if you do an acre, you know, you will walk away with something. Okay. You know, you definitely walk away with something. But like, I know people who've done, so like I was telling you earlier, a few years ago, this place was all pineapple everywhere you look. And then it got to a point where pineapple takes a while to actually grow. Mm-hmm. So it got to a point where we have boys from Begro. They come from Begro like around April, May, just before the rainy season starts. Actually by March. Mm-hmm. By March, they have started weeding and preparing the land. So the guys in the area realized these guys are here for like 3 months, and they are buying cars, they're buying abuboya, they're buying tricycles, they're doing amazing, doing pineapple and doing tomatoes. Okay. So all of them stopped with pineapple and went to tomatoes. And that year, I don't know if God was just playing tricks on everyone, but yeah, imagine what happened. Everybody's pineapple just bent. And some of them still haven't recovered yet. You know, but then that was the times when a pineapple was like 3 cedis for the big one, and now we are at the place where pineapple is about 8 cedis, 6 cedis for mediums, and some even 10 cedis, depending on, you know, who your market is or what the market is. You know, so some are trying to get back in. Some of us who stuck to it, we are still doing, but it is getting better. The only thing that we really, really wish was the price of fertilizers and the other things coming down. If they did, we'd probably also bring the price down, you know. But also rest assured, we are not the ones driving up the prices to 25 cedis and 20 cedis of pineapple. As a middleman, like, we are, I think, moderately priced. You know, they are buying it for like 6, 8 cedis from us, and then going off 7 cedis sometimes. You know, you probably see a 10 cedi depending on the size. Yeah, and they go off to wherever they are, and then the prices doubles.
Yeah, what on 6 cedis no.
Say, into Bram Bisawo. Say, I want to pineapple when you're 6 cedi war farm. I want for free actually a bobo yaka. And the bedroom. I want you to pay 3 million, not 2 million. I want for load pay 300 pieces. One can be 20 cents.
I saw to Sukakre.
Oh, until you are not so bad to a cotton, made a permanent. And to say, since you know, people are made the money 8 cedi, who say normal.
To the mamma 8 cedis.
There be you're no quacoton. But the amani 8 cedi, who say normal.
Me quacoton.
There be who could it was a Missumina Kakra was.
Okay, I think one factor that scares people away is there is this notion that this plant can take 2 years before you get pineapple.
Yeah, it takes a while. That is why I also my strategy is having something every 2 months.
Okay.
You know, so when you start harvesting, it's, you know, you have something going every month. You know, so if you have a good enough, let's say like let's even say you're doing an acre a year.
Okay.
Right, and every month you're doing 1 acre. So in the 12 months, you have acres going. So by the 12 month and change, you can start harvesting. Now, the 2 years, yes. To me, the attention that you give to pineapple, it will show in the results. But I have seen people do 12 months. That's half of the time that people claim. I've seen people do 14 months and 16 months. But I mean, whatever time you dedicate to it, keeping the weeds down, because all these things would prohibits the plants from like achieving full size and then fruiting. So keeping the weeds down, giving the fertilizer when you need to, pesticides, weedicides, making sure the fungus is not attacking it. All these things, if it's done properly, I think within a year, 12 months to 14 months, it should be okay to
What
harvest.
have you done on your field before? How many months? What's the longest month you have done on your field?
The longest month I've done actually, it's actually still on the land. And it was almost neglect. It happens a lot around here. Like the farm gets so bad, we just neglect it.
Okay.
So it happened to me, and then I was like, let me just clean it up, and then read. The good thing with pineapple is, not I don't say pineapple in general, but sugarloaf, you can leave it in bush for like a year or two, just come and clear it, give it fertilizer, and it's new. It's fruiting again. So sometimes you just get tired with a particular area of the land, and that area, it's a bit too rocky, so the nutrients were not like really, I guess, working, and we just abandoned it. But we actually came back, cleaned it up, and then we forced it. But I've probably done, it's probably like a year and a half.
And the shortest you've done?
Shortest I've done is probably like 14 months.
14 months. Okay.
14 months.
Okay. So,
But I would definitely admit I've never been super diligent with applying fertilizer when I need to and when I have to. Except maybe some of these ones, I think I'm doing a better job with these ones now. And it's always not even my fault. It's the fact that you would get workers to come and it's Ochameba, and then they will tend to like, you're a month late now. You're 2 months late. So, but this time around, I think if you're not coming, I'll call somebody else. Because I think I have sympathy on certain people who I wanted them to work on my farm all the time.
Okay.
And of course, you have to be wary of who works on the farm, because there's horror stories of people that you can, come and work. And what they do is you mix the liquid fertilizer and they just pour it in the ground. Like they just pour it
On the ground.
instead of just actually doing the work. And they tell maybe I need my money. So you have to know who is loyal to you, who wants to work, who just doesn't want some money and then run away.
Okay. Can you let's take 1 acre for instance.
Okay.
We want to set up, let's say I've just acquired the land, just like that bush. Can you run us through from clearing, land preparation to cultivation?
Yeah, so the land preparation, it depends on the type of land that you have, but if it's just a grassy area like this, it's not too bad. I'll probably budget 2,000 to 3,000 cedis, because we'll first have to come and weed and maybe burn it, and then actually take time to uproot the grasses out of the ground.
Okay.
So the weeding is over here is about 700 cedis. Just uprooting the grasses are probably about 900 cedis per acre.
What's the ideal type of land for pineapple?
The ideal time to plant.
No, land, the soil type.
I think Sunday loamy.
Sunday
Yeah,
loamy.
but then just make sure there's no salt, because apparently they don't like salt at all.
Okay.
So the Sunday loamy, just make sure there's no. But I also say, like, even I've seen rocky places where the pineapple grows, pineapple thrives, like on top of that mountain that you see over here.
Yeah.
It used to be for pineapples. Like it grows and it's rocky as hell.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really rocky, but it grows. So after they do that, they do everything, and you might want to actually spray weedicide again just before you actually plant.
Okay.
So that when they are this young, you still have quite clean field to work with.
Okay.
So I'll budget about 2,000 to 3,000 cedis just for the land preparation, and then we'll move into acquiring the planting material, as you call it, the suckers. And the suckers, like I was saying.
Don't you have varieties?
Yes, there's varieties. There's 3 varieties: Sugarloaf, MD2, and Smooth Cayenne. And varying prices in the cost of suckers.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you are a beginner, I would definitely advise you stick with Sugarloaf.
Okay.
It is the more tolerant species to hardship, if you want to put it that way, because even if you don't have too much time for it, it will not die on you. But if you try MD2 and there's weeds growing there, it will just die.
Okay.
You know, so these ones are more tolerant. So you go with the sugar loaf. It's about 50 cedis, averagely about 50 cedis per, 50 pesos for one.
Okay.
So if you're trying to put it on a 1 acre, that means you're looking at 1,000 cedis. So 10,000 cedis
Okay.
for the suckers.
How many pieces? 20,000.
You need about 20,000. I think I have magicians who plant mine, and you can see the way they are tight.
Yeah.
We are able to do about 23,000, 24,000 per acre, but we'll still do the math as it's 20,000.
Okay.
You know, so 20,000 per acre. So let's say you're buying 20,000. You might want to buy a little excess just because, you know, but like 20,000, let's say 20,000. So when you buy 20,000, that means you're spending 10,000 cedis on the suckers.
Okay.
You know, now depending on where you get it from, transportation
Okay.
might also be a huge problem, because I have, like I said, I have people in your area who bought suckers from here. And a trip, they had to take 2 or 3 trips. A trip was 6,000 cedis.
Okay.
This is 3 years ago.
Okay.
So right now with the petrol up and everything, I'm definitely sure, you know, it will be more than that. But I think they bought about 100,000 suckers in all, and they were able to huge trucks. They were able to do about 3 or 4 trips, and then each trip was about 6,000 to like the Volta side. But if you are in the area,
Yeah.
of course it will be cheaper, but you still would at least pay 800 to 1,000 cedis. Could you believe if a truck moves from here to across the road to that farm on that side,
Yeah.
that's about 1,000 cedis. Yeah, yeah. So let's say transportation, another 1,000 or so cedis, depending on where you are.
Okay.
And then it comes to when you bring it to your farm, then we are grading. That's a whole other job too. Grading is basically putting them in the different sizes that they come in. So when you put them in the different sizes, it is easier to plant. You plant the ones which are the same size together, you know, so you don't plant bigger ones and smaller ones. I've made that mistakes. I mean, every now and then it happens. You can even see an example on my farm. Let me see if I can find a good example for you. But yeah, look at this one. Look at this one and this one.
Yeah.
You
This
see?
one looks small.
Yeah. Yeah.
How will
So-
it affect you?
And well, it affects me because when the bigger ones cover the smaller ones, like that one did, that one would never ever get as big as it should be because you have other plants. But when they are all growing at the same time, like these two on this side,
Okay.
they will definitely grow at the same rate. But when one overshadows the other, the smaller one would never ever get to the size of the bigger one.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, smaller pineapple plants means smaller fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after sorting, what else?
After sorting, then comes planting. Planting is also done. I'll definitely say look for good planters because there are planters who can plant, but they're not as good.
Okay.
But I have good planters who can, like I said, fit about 24,000 per acre. And I know you saw it and he was like, this had to be a lot of calculation going into the
swear.
planting. Yeah, but it's an art. Like it's an art and a science for them. So you have to find someone who knows really know what they're doing.
Do they have like a measuring?
It's just rope. It's just rope.
Okay.
They just use rope to do magic, you know. So once they come to your site, usually 700 cedis per every 10,000 that they plant, or 700 cedis per every 10,000 that they plant. So for the 20,000, you're looking at 1,400 cedis.
Okay.
You know, usually, but then they will hit you with things like food money, transportation money, this money, that money. So what I find out that usually works for me is I'll give you 80 cedis for everything. Your transportation, your food is in there. So it ends up being like 1,600 for the planting. You know, so that's how I look at it.
Okay. So after planting, what next?
So after planting, you wait for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
You know, wait for about 2 weeks, and then you start applying the fertilizers. So the first one that I usually do is what we call the monoammonium phosphate, or MAP for short.
Okay.
That aids in rooting. So basically, it roots the plants quickly, and then you have the plants actually holding up, like being firm in the soil. So the first 2 weeks I'll do that. The next 2 weeks after that, I'll do another MAP mixed with a bit of NPK. And the first and the second time, definitely, we are using. I use some peripherals. Some people use Dersburn, but the whole aim is to kill termites. Because when there are new plants in the ground, the termites love the roots. So they will just come and start nibbling on them, and then they will kill the plant. So I usually would apply Desban or some peripherals, and then the first 2 or 3 fertilizers that I'll actually apply, and then after like the first 2 applications, which is mostly MAP and a bit of NPK. After that, you could start like the next month, you are going full in on NPK, ammonia, and urea mix. There's ratios to it, ratios to it, and then you work with that for, as they are growing, you keep increasing it. As they are growing, you keep increasing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the application for the map? Is it like you have to make a solution?
Yeah, so it's a solution. It's a liquid. You have to make a solution into a liquid, and then you spray on the neck of the pineapple plant. I'm not sure if you can imagine or picture that, but the neck of the pineapple plant. But yeah, it is. Some people actually also do, not for the map, but for other fertilizers, they do what they call solids.
Okay.
But which is basically put in like a side dressing.
Yeah, side dressing.
Yeah, but I don't usually do that. I usually do the the liquid fertilizers.
Okay.
Yeah. There's another fertilizer that we sometimes add, which is Super Grow. It gives it like a good nutrition. It's supposed to be an organic fertilizer. It's really good, but I don't use it much. Probably like once or twice during the cycle.
Okay. Yeah. Then that will be all.
Then that will be all. But it's monthly for like the next 7, 8 months, 9 months. You have to make sure you're consistent with it.
So at what point do you let the pineapple come out?
So it depends on if you think you have a good size.
Is this a good size?
That is not close to a good size. I usually look at the base. Now you can tell this one is getting close to it. Some farms would actually force these things, or even smaller than these. Okay. But I would want to see a bigger base. I would force it when it's at a bigger base than it is now. Okay. So I would probably give it, with what you're seeing, I'll probably go another 2 months or so, 2 or 3 months before actually forcing it. I'm sure the next time we hear they'll be like huge. So normally when they are good enough, you are like the ones we walked in earlier, they were like quite high. Yeah.
Level.
Oh yeah, about waist level also. And like they are getting there. And then like I said, you will also see 1 or 2 or 3 pineapples like fruiting by themselves without you inducing them, just fruiting by themselves. That's when you know, okay, the field is ready to go. So those are what we'll call like volunteers. They're fruited on their own. So they usually come out before the others.
Okay. So how do you know it's matured?
You have to, when it gets big, it will get big enough to a certain point. Depending on the market, you see yellow, the greenish will start turning greenish, yellowish at a time, and then, but then I have, my client uses it for something different, and they don't want it ripe.
Okay.
Yeah. But like 4 months, 120 days or so, it's much. But because those are volunteers, normally I might sell it to the people who are not really buying bulk.
Okay.
Like a few.
Well, this thing can cut. I'm wearing jeans.
You can see, yes, exactly. It's another one. This also volunteers. So this is how it starts. It actually starts smaller than this, but little reddish thing. That's how it looks like when it's young. So because you can tell, it's clean all the way to here. So the guy working on it will have to come and continue all the way down, and he'll come and start from the side too. Then
he'll first do the spraying.
No spraying. So what happens? So all of this has been forced, induced.
Okay.
When it's induced, definitely no sprays anymore.
Okay.
It's all manual, no sprays, because I don't want you to eat. Because you actually taste the spray in the pineapple if that happens.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely no sprays, all manual. This is where the hard work is. So it takes them a while to do it. It will take some work. But these ones, the reason why they stopped is because these ones were newly done. They want to let it fruit a little bit, a bit bigger, and then they can actually weed through the whole thing. So all of this will be weeded. All of that will be weeded.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a recently forced.
It's a recently forced one. I think it was actually a bit delayed because it's been cold here for the past couple of months. So what happens is the colder it is, it takes about probably delay like another 2 weeks. So it'll probably take about 2 months for it to see it's actually fruiting, because I think it actually did go beyond the 45 days that it's usually supposed to take.
So it's ideal you force it when it's hot.
It's ideal you force it when it's hot, but the thing is, at the same time, you can see, like you saw here, volunteers are coming up. That means it is ready to be forced. So regardless of the month or the weather, you need to force it.
Okay.
Just know that it will probably be slower in producing the fruits than if we had hot weather.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see volunteer here, volunteer here, volunteer here. So we knew it was time to go. Yeah. It was time to go. So this is a long line. This goes all the way down into those bushes you see there.
Okay.
So you're probably talking about this land could easily be almost an acre on its own.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe close to like more than 3/4 of an acre. So.
And you have some of the barrels in between.
Yes, this is all, yeah, because we recently did the forcing in these ones. It hasn't been more than like 2 or 3 weeks since we did the forcing on, and from here going to the top. Yeah, these ones were done earlier. Then these ones were done like recently. Okay. When you're going to the top.
So where are we going from here?
They're going to the top.
Ouch.
Yeah, but no, they can really cut. So this first plot was done along with those ones. So here they're actually now pineapples, if you can tell.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell these ones are more grown than
the
other ones. Yeah, because they were forced along with the ones you saw behind the reservoir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to harvesting too, they'll be walking in between.
Yes. They'll be walking in between and harvesting.
It won't catch them.
It will cut them, but like I was saying earlier, we wear pants about 2 or 3, and the top is also usually, I only come in with long sleeves all the time because it cuts easily, like easily. So you have like padded clothing before you walk in.
So how do you do the forcing, as you tell me?
Yeah, the forcing or inducing, we use calcium carbide, or ethifone, they call it. Calcium carbide or ethifone. You mix it with water.
Okay.
The calcium carbide looks scary in water actually because it bubbles. You can hear that, it bubbles. It's very, very, very scary.
Okay.
Anyway, so and then we do the same thing. You put it in the eye of the pineapple. Some people add, like myself, we add a bit of fertilizer to it. It's like a last fertilizer.
Okay.
You put it in the eye, which is here, the middle. Yes, the middle of the Yes, in the middle of the eye. So we call it the eye of the pineapple.
Okay.
You put it in there, and you pray it works, because sometimes it doesn't work. Some people do it twice, because it doesn't work all the time. And after 45 days, you will see little things emerging from that same place that you put the thing in. After 45 days, and then you have success. But yes, there's times when they actually don't fruit. You have to do it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 45 days, you have your big pineapple.
No, tiny. They don't even look like pineapples.
So
They
how
look
long,
like some
how
alien
long
things.
after that?
So you have, I'll say 150 days or 5 months.
5 months again.
After that, 5 months. So like I was saying, you probably do 8 months, 9 months. Ideally, if you can do 8 or 9 months, and then you force at the 8 or 9 months, and you have another 5 months to go.
This business feel like you're buying a fresh cattle.
Yeah, the time that goes into it is a lot, and that is why, personally, I think I get saddened when I see pear costing more than pineapple because the work that goes into it. It's I have a pear tree here. It fruits nicely, and it's huge. But I don't see, like, there's really no work that goes into this compared to this for it, one pear to be 20-25 cedis. But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So after you force at the 8th or 9th month, but like I said, if your fruit does not look big enough or looks robust enough to be forced, you don't. That means that's when sometimes it will go over a year and change before people actually will force it. But like I said, it all depends on how good or diligent you are with working on the farm.
Okay, so let's do the numbers now. So we planted 23,000.
23,000, yes.
So we factored 3,000 as loss.
Yeah,
so that means I'm getting like 20,000
proper pineapples.
Okay. So if I'm selling one for 5 cedis, I should be getting like 100,000 easy.
If you're dealing with, yes, 100,000 easy.
Now
And
let's
that-
be realistic.
yeah.
You are in a field. How is that realistic?
That is realistic, but the thing is, how good are the plants? How big were the plants? Right now, I have pretty healthy plants here. You know that I can say I'll probably get 100, like 99% good yield.
Okay.
Right now, I'm hoping that my fruits are a big enough size where my average should be about 5 cedis. Now, like I said, you know, the bigger ones are around like 8 cedis. The smaller ones might probably come around 3 cedis, right? So let's say averagely we put it at 5, and we spread it across. The market women don't understand average,
Okay.
so we come and we do grading, just like we did with the suckers. We're at 8 cedis, we're at 7 cedis, we're at this, we're at that. So the price will go fluctuates. Now they are coming with their price, so you know, and then of course that's when the topic of is this a big or small or medium arises, because everything to them is small and everything to you is big, you know. But then averagely you're probably going to get about 5 cedis per. So if you have 20,000, like I said, that is a really highly feasible number.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's talk about the marketing.
Yes.
Is there market for pineapples?
There's crazy market for pineapples. In our area, which is in Ibri, which leads to in Sawame, like 20 or so minutes, we have HPW, we have Blue Skies, we have Ivaya, we have another one before you even get to the market side. About 4 or 5 companies who are all buying pineapples from this area. And apart from those 4 or 5 companies, we also have the Medina market, which is not that far, and we have the market women coming to buy it. And then the market women in Kumasi, who apparently also supply to the north. This is where they come and buy. So I have seen market women come here and go away with like 2 or 3 rhinos, following them to Kumasi, and they are back here in less than a week, looking to buy more.
Okay.
You know, so we have all these people competing to buy pineapples, you know, and not to forget that people who also do the juice and stuff, you know, they also want pineapples.
Okay. So you see, when you go outside, pineapple is sold by weight,
Kilo, yeah.
by kilo. Do you have that here?
There are certain companies, like I said, that's certain companies do the kilo. One of my clients does a kilo per weight, and you know, that is, to me, it's a more logical way to go about it, instead of using our eye to tell which one is big, which one is small. You know, so personally, my first preference would be my kilo weighing clients.
How much is a kilo?
Well, I can give you a range,
Okay.
and of course, it might also differ a little bit from a different
Company.
not with the company and also the variety. But I'll give it for sugarloaf.
Okay.
For sugarloaf, I'll say between 3 cedis, 50 pesos a kilo, to about maybe 5, depending on the company, depending on a bunch of other factors. Transportation to their place, you know, or sometimes I know that some of them will actually pay for your transportation.
Okay.
So of course that would affect your pricing in kilos.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Okay.
Yeah, or you can opt to pay for your own transportation to their site, and you want a certain amount of, but it's all up to negotiations. But 350 and up, 350 pesos per kilo and up. So, yeah.
When weighing, do they cut the crown? Because my mind is
Yes, they do cut the crown.
They cut the
They
crown.
cut the crown, yeah.
okay.
They cut the
Because I've weighed one pineapple in Lebanon before, and
Okay.
it was 5 kilos, and I dropped it. I didn't buy it. It was boldly written on it, made in Ghana,
Okay.
and I didn't take it. 'Cause
Was it 5 cedis per kilo, or that we weighed?
No, it weighed 5.
Okay.
It was actually big.
Okay.
I think it weighed 5.
And I'm
Maybe
sure they were
3
selling
also.
it.
Yeah, they were selling it
I'll be more tempted to be around 3-ish, and I'm sure they were selling it for per kilo.
per kilo. So after weighing it, I dropped it, because when I do the mass, Ghana, I dropped it.
Yeah. They are, like in the States, I think they are getting like between 5 to 7 cedis. Sorry, $5 to $7 easily per kilo or more. Probably sometimes even $10 per kilo. So you're looking at one pineapple close to like $15 to $20 per one pineapple. That in Ghana terms is like 150 to 200 cedis per pineapple. You know,
Mad.
exactly. You know, so over here, yeah, it's we get about, you know, to us it's still fairly cheap, you know, but then at the same time, um, we are always negotiating with the buyers, you know, too. And there's exporters too who also come around and buy. But
Okay.
from what I've realized, like I don't, the export pricing is actually worse than local market pricing. But that's just my experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you said, I think it's because this is a hub for pineapple. That's why the
Yeah.
market
So
is
it's
here.
the market. Yeah, the market is here, definitely.
So, would you advise someone who maybe after seeing this video want to start this probably, and not in Volta, but let's say OT region or other part?
I consider OT region or volatile, unless you have to educate me a bit on that one.
So,
how close is OT region
it used to
to?
be Volta, but they divided it into
Okay.
OT and Volta.
Uh-huh.
So from Hohwe up is OT region. Then
Okay.
from Hohwe down south is the Volta region now.
Okay, so is OT region like close to Kumasi?
OT, I mean, they are, after crossing the river, you can easily
How
get
many
to
hours?
Kumasi. Probably 2-3 hours.
So that's about the same time that Kumasi will take to get here.
I think it will be more than 2
It will be more than
hours.
2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, if it will take some work that will go into it and some logistics being solved, but I'm thinking maybe even Togo. You know, I'm not sure what the situation is in Togo with.
Yeah. Togo, we are closer
know.
to Togo.
Yeah, I mean, Togo might be a good, because I know our market women go to Togo for lettuce and onions and some of these other things. So what can we also export to Togo in terms of agri? Of course, the border will also be a problem,
Okay.
you know, but I'm sure there can be, you know, because like I said, the largest markets that I know of would definitely be, apart from the ones in this area, would be Kumasi, who I understand also serve the north. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
So if, with the experience you have now, if someone should call you now that, okay, I want to make 1 million Ghana cedis, can you consult for me? How many acres should the person start with?
You want to make 1 million Ghana cedis
Yeah.
in one time?
Yeah, one time.
No, in what time?
In 2 years.
In 2 years. So that's me assuming it will take about 2 years to grow. So to be safe, what's 200,000 times 5 is a million. To be safe, I'll say 5 acres would do, but let's do 7 acres.
Let's do 7 acres. Okay.
Let's do 7 acres. Let's do 7 acres. With the market being fair and the market about averagely about 5 cities a pineapple. Yeah, we could do that. We can do 7 acres.
Can I lose my money? Is it possible?
No, you can never lose your money. That is, like I told you earlier, that's one of the reasons why I love pineapple compared to the vegetables and other crops.
Okay. Is it ideal for, let's say,
But like I said,
corporate
you,
guys?
let me put it. Yes, you can lose your money if you just plant and leave and go and sleep. Yes, you can lose your money. But if you are actually, you know, if you can tell, like there's work constantly.
Yeah.
You know, we are working in this thing weekly, trying to clear some weeds and, you know, do something on a daily basis. There's something going on. You know, but if you are sleeping, then yes, you will lose your money definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you are putting this much work in, definitely you will make money. You make money, yes. Labor is the trick or the what would make or break you. Labor.
Okay.
Because I think across board, like the youth are not really into working on farms anymore. You know, they're not really trying to work on the farms anymore, and it's getting harder and harder to actually find people to work. So when I started, there was a point where I had about 5 workers and a manager. You know, and the 5 workers and the manager, they couldn't manage 3 acres of farm. You know, but now I have 1 manager, and we randomly get people to come and help us out, and we are probably on 10-12 acres of land when we are cultivating. We are harvesting and then replanting all the time. Like we have a good cycle going. But when I had more people on the farm, it wasn't working that well. You know, so it takes for you to know the people in the area who are willing to work, and even them, they will disappoint you every now and then. You know, they disappoint you every now and then. You saw somebody planting over on the other side. Yeah. When he got some small money up front, he's going to chill for like a week and then come and continue. You know, that's just how it is. You know, so the labor is the number 1 problem. So when you're in a certain area, just get to know the people there, get to know how you can solve or tackle that problem. But one thing I know for sure is it's difficult to get people to come and work for you full time on the farm these days. So I'm not even stressing myself. You know, I have brought people from the north, Swedro, Togo, some of the areas around here to come and work on my farm. You get them a place to stay in the nearby villages. Some come with their bad habits. Some come, they are lazy. Some come only for the money. But ultimately, 2 or 3 months in, you would know if the person will last or not. And so far, and I've had people stay like a year. And then some people also left on good faith, like they have to go back. My guy from Togo, it's really good. You know, he just had to go back because he had a baby and he had to go back, so he left. But I've had people who came and then it's the landlady that the place I rented for them. Landlady was complaining about things coming out of their room at night and things, and you know, smoky things coming out of the room, and they can't sleep, and then they come to work and tired already. Like, you know, if you are, you know, but anyway, yeah. So labor is #1 problem over anything. You know, you can have all the money that you want, but if there's no labor to actually work in the farms, you know. And I'll say pineapple is also like a specialized plant, so it's not like general knowledge really. You know, so you need people who have some type of knowledge in it. If not, you still have to be able to teach them. Like, you have to take a look at how the pineapple is, and there's a lot of people who cannot weed in between pineapple farms.
Yeah.
It's a specialized thing. So you need specialized labor. So it's not easy coming by these people. It's not easy at all. You know, so labor is your #1 problem, your #1 enemy.
Isn't it even ideal to keep them keep them on the field, since you do the work and go and relax and come back again? Is it ideal you keep that number on the field?
The number of people who are working?
Large number on the field.
Well, like I said, the 5 was me calculating maybe 1 person per acre.
Okay.
You know, that was what I was calculating, 1 person per acre.
Okay.
So when it comes, so like in this case, when there's weeding to be done, we usually do like 15 lines. So we call this a line. So they'll come in the day, they'll do 15 lines in the morning. 15 lines in the morning.
Okay.
That is how to track their work. 15 lines in the morning, they'll come and do it. And then that's in the morning. And then after they'll do maybe some other type of work around. But you know, it's a constant battle to keep weeds down, to make other parts of the land ready to be, cultivated, you know, to cut suckers from already harvested plants. So all these things are work that happens like daily. Okay. You know, so you need 5 for, let's say, 20-acre farm, or it's good, it's okay, they can handle it, or you should be able to handle it. You know, there's definitely something to be done. But then there are times when, you know, when everything is done, like this farm, there's nothing for me to do but wait to fertilize it in about 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
And there's no weed to be, it's been done. And hopefully for about the next 2 or so months, it will probably be weed free until we see signs, and then we have to come in. Because if you can check here, it was weed free about 2 months ago, and then gradually they are coming in again. So then you have to go back in and then work on it.
So we have done everything on the farm, and now your pineapples are ready to harvest. How do you sell?
Well, like I said, me personally, and I'm sure a lot of farmers who've done it for 2 or 3 years or more, you always have your customers that you love. You know, that I have a middleman guy here who links with the Kumasi market for me, and they'll buy anything in any amount. Okay. You know. And then we have my preferred client who does the weighing.
Okay.
And in Sawam, they also buy just about anything in any amount. And then there's the market woman too, who also come. Then I have a juicer who I think the highest they bought from me at one point was up close to like 20,000 cedis pineapple at one point. So there are people who are actually actively buying pineapple for juice, and there's exporters too.
So is it like they come to the farm, come and make payments? Then
some will come to the farm and they'll ask you, when are you harvesting, and then you tell them, but they know they are not the only person passing in front of your farm and see nice pineapple plants that they would like to buy. So some will actually offer you money upfront, like, hey, when it's time, 10,000, I can come and take, or at least give me the amount that I'm giving you. So you have to reserve it for me. Okay. So it's almost at this point, really, like the whole of this year, I'll probably say pineapple has been very scarce, very, very scarce. Yeah, but there's markets like in Ebri, in our part.
There's nothing like, oh, we are going to sell and come and give you the money later.
If you allow that, that's the Medina pineapple buyers market anthem. If you allow that, it will happen to you. But why would you give it to somebody to go and sell and bring it while there's people who are paying you ASAP for it? If you're in a place where you are begging them to buy, that is what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, but over here, like I don't see any farmer begging anyone to buy anything. Okay. I remember there's a farmer up the hill who I had sold mine to my clients. My clients wanted more, so I went to him like, hey, I'll give you. I'll not even have the money, but I have 20,000 cedis that I can give you. I don't know how much you also cost because you have to weigh them, but I'll pay you 20,000 cedis for it, and then when we go and weigh them, blah blah blah, we'll give you the. He said no. you know. But the funny part was, I also really were not able to find out how much exactly it'll cost, unless maybe we harvest and then we do grading and it's a whole, you know. But they were not willing to sell it just because I was even giving them part of the money. They're not willing to do it. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah, don't do that either. Don't do that business. No, don't give it to anyone to go and sell and come and pay you. No.
Let's talk about the other business leg too. I mean, after harvesting,
Okay.
what happens to the plant? Do you sell the mother plant?
So after harvesting, the mother plant has done a good job. What happens then is this: we have crowns, or not crowns. We have suckers, which are actually called slips. That forms on top of it, and then those ones, yes, that's extra revenue for you. Like I said in the beginning, you're buying 50 pesos, so now it's your turn to sell. That is if you do not intend to expand, or you can even expand and still be able to sell some, because the average on one is about 5 or so. You can get up to like 10 or 11 from what we counted down there. You know, so you can plant less. So basically, like an acre can give you like another 5 acres easily, and you still have enough to sell. You know, so you can, you know, go into selling pineapple. You can actually use that particular acre that you planted to do what we call a sucker farm. So you make sure you are giving it fertilizer, and then it produces more suckers.
Okay.
And then you can be selling.
That's a side business too.
That's a side business to it, yeah.
Okay.
But then, like I said, over here, at one point, it wasn't booming because everybody had a farm, everybody had suckers. Until it all died. And now there are people trying to get back into farming. So people like me who have pineapple and suckers, you know, we are able to make some money off it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What items or farm implements are you using on the farm?
On the farm, you just make sure we have a tank, and we have an irrigation that goes down to the river, and we just make sure, actually go to the reservoir, and then from the reservoir to the tank. So we have 2 water pumps. One pumps from the river to the reservoir, one pumps from the reservoir into the tanks that you see here. And then from there we have a bunch of barrels lined up all over the place. That it's because once you've planted, it's fertilizer, and then what do you call it? Weedicide every now and then. So the main thing now is just fertilizer. So that's why we have all the barrels around. The weeding is usually done with cutlass. The people who weed have most of the time have their own cutlass, you know. And our cutlasses are shaped a little funny. This is not even the best, but yeah, it's shaped a little funny. So basically, this is used to drag. So the weeding is done this way.
Okay.
So this is used to drag the weed goes in there and then it's dragged back this way.
Okay.
That's how the cutlasses are shaped.
Okay. What's your advice to someone who is looking to start?
If you're looking to start, just start, but just talk to somebody who knows, like consult people who know about it. I would not recommend talking to the workers or people in the area who do pineapples, because they'll possibly give you wrong advice. Talk to somebody who's been in there for a bit and can give you good advice on what to do, what not to do. It is not difficult per se in terms of like growing the crop. What is difficult is trying to keep it clean and trying to adhere to the rules. And the rules is just basically when it's supposed to have its fertilizer, make sure it has it. When you're supposed to weed and clean it, make sure it's clean. That is the few rules of pineapple. You know, it's enough as much as you can. You know, you can try to make some of these things happen. Sometimes you might forget. Sometimes you might be little lapses. But I mean, try and just keep on track, and then hopefully you get, you know, some good crops. And like I was telling Kekeli earlier, Charlie, you shouldn't go at a loss. You know, we're passing by my potato and my tomato field, and we saw some spoiled tomatoes on the side, and he said, "Oh, post-harvest loss." And I said, "Yeah, that is a thing that you would probably not hear in pineapple. Like, we definitely make sure." And then even after we've harvested, we are still selling suckers. You know, selling suckers alone can be a business, just that. So definitely, I'll say, to me, pineapples are safer, and if you want to get into it, definitely get into it. But start small. For pineapple, I definitely say start small. You know, and make sure, just like any other venture, that you have enough money to cover as you go along, because there will be monthly expenses. So just have some money to cover and start small, and then from one you can just go ahead and then expand, because you can easily go from 1 to 5 acres, you know, after a first harvest, easily.
On a scale of 1 to 100, how will you rate the risks in pineapple?
Risk in pineapple, 0. As long as you don't plant and go to sleep. I'll put it like 0. I keep stressing on that. Because I can take you to other farms where, Charlie, it's all there's weeds, because they will tell you, "Oh, if we're not, I can rim." You know, what they did was sleep after they planted it. You know, so.
Is it capital intensive?
Yeah, for 20,000 an acre, yes, I think. And 20,000 an acre will probably be on the minimum side. If you are talking, you know, workers, maintenance and everything, it's probably like more like 25. You know, but like I
what
said,
about starting small and going big?
it's also possible. Half an acre, that's good. You know, half an acre is good, and then you can go from there. You know, but I think yes, compared to other fruits like let's say even tomatoes and stuff, it's like I said, an acre requires about 10 acres, and so 10 bags of fertilizer. That's a lot.
Your best story with pineapple?
My best story. My best story with pineapple. It was maybe the first time that I actually harvested, because I had failed with several vegetables over a period, and then you actually did something that
Works.
worked, and you're like, wow, you know, this is it. You know, I think that was the first time I ever harvested pineapples. It definitely has to be my. And I remember the suckers I bought, they were so tiny that everyone who saw them said, oh, whoever sold it to you, they up on them. Like it was intentional. Like they didn't want to let you actually grow your farm, you know. But then we took those small. I actually have pictures of those ones too. I have pictures of that particular one, and yeah, we actually grew it and we actually harvested. You know, we actually harvested. So that was like definitely one of my finest moments with pineapple. Yeah.
Okay. And your worst?
My worst was possibly. There was a time that I had traveled, and I kept calling to find out, pineapple, when will it be ready? When will it be ready? And also, give it like a month and a half. And then in like a week and a half or two, they were all like super ripe. They're all super ripe. And I don't know if it was the fault of my farm manager who just couldn't, or he wasn't around. They couldn't tell that, hey, it's getting ripe. But at the time I came back, Charlie, the thing was super ripe. So we had like a day or two to try and figure out how to dispose of it ASAP, you know. And unfortunately for me, I made a few calls, and we're actually able to make sure everything went to our clients ASAP, because we had like less than 3 days for it to start going bad on the farm. Yeah.
What assurance can you give someone who is overthinking about starting it?
Oh, I'll say, like I said, pineapple is almost a zero risk as long as you don't go to sleep. So just make sure at least twice a month, you know, you come to your farm. Your actual work is done like monthly, where you can come, fertilization, weeding, everything is done monthly, and then you leave it like this. We haven't touched this after weeding, so we forced it. We weeded about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We will not touch it until we harvest. So you know, it's minimal work when you know everything is done properly. So if you're thinking about starting, just talk to somebody who knows what you're doing to teach you the ropes. Yeah, that's what I did, you know, teach you the ropes. But do start. And also just don't see it as some money that you are making in return in 3 months. This takes longer than a year. So, but it depends on the area that you're in. Selling the produce is not a problem. And a lot of people have that problem with selling produce after they go into farming, and then they can't sell the produce. This is not a problem. But that also depends on where you are, like the area you're in.
I think a quick strategy would be, if you are doing an acre, you might probably add extra thousands to it to factor in for the transportation from wherever you are.
Yes. So like I was saying, I mean, a lot of people calculate an acre for you at 20,000. I'll calculate it for you from 23 to 24, depending on who's planting for you. But my planters, like I was telling you, are super good, where they can fit 23, 24,000 in an acre. So I know like 3-4,000 is how my northern would say jara. Like I know that is like, you know, just money on the side. So let's calculate for the 20,000. But it might go more than that. And for transportation issues and stuff, you can also use that if you're far away from where the market is. You can actually do the same.
Okay. Are you on social media?
Yes, I'm on social media. It's only on TikTok for now, though. Twin Rivers Farms on social media, on TikTok.
Okay.
We'll probably start, and I might be on Facebook, but I don't think I've updated in a while. But definitely TikTok is a much easier way to reach me. Twin Rivers Farms on TikTok. Yes, that's a much better way to reach me.
What about your contacts?
My contact is I'm on Twitter as SevenXavier on Twitter. But I think the best contact would definitely be TikTok if you want to contact me. And also you can email at the same 7xavier@gmail.com. And I'm sure you can probably put it on the screen when you're doing this.
Your phone number?
Yeah. And the phone number is 055 055-314-2372. 055-314-2372, yes.
Any final word?
Any final word is, Agric is not for the faint-hearted. Agric is not a hobby. But a lot of people, to me, I learn it, I'll put it this way. I would love to see learned people in Agric. So, because at the end of the day, sometimes when you get into the field, some of the things that you learn from the locals, you realize that, oh, you can fine-tune it, you can tweak it, and you can actually make things better. So learned people definitely get into the game, and let's change things around. Let's change Ghana's fortunes for the better. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.